Okay, so it's 2:30. So in respect to your time, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So there's a chat function here. So if you could mute your microphones, just to save everybody from these little taps and things from the other 28 participants. If you can mute your microphones, that would be great. We will be talking to everyone through the chat, and Delane Johnson, she's an instructional technology coach and AP computer science principles teacher from Clovis East. She's moderating today. So she is in the chat with you the entire time, scrolling through and attempting to answer questions, or she's writing down questions, jotting down questions that we can stop and answer maybe midpoint and then toward the end. That's just kind of housekeeping stuff. Yes, we are recording today. Yesterday I made a rookie move and forgot to restart the recording, but yes, today I am recording. So if you don't want your cute little faces on screen, you can turn off your video, and if you don't mind, you can leave it on. It is nice to see your faces. And I think that kind of covers it as far as housekeeping is concerned. In the video, I will leave this welcome screen in the video for access later, and I know that Delane is popping those links
already
in
done
the chat. So I see that those are in there, so thank you. She's the world's best Vanna.
Side action, my hands, right. Oh, you forgot to say that I'm great for occasional snarky comments too.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And somehow we can read each other's minds even when we're not in the same room together.
It's a really neat ESP thing that we've got going on.
Yeah, it's kind of a really bizarre thing. You know, her last name's Johnson, my last name's Johnston, maybe that's it. So,
right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna leave this screen. I'm gonna have to close this, sorry, but all the links are in the chat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna navigate to our Google Drive. If you have no idea where to start, I always tell people just go to google.com. And then up in the corner, you will see, if you're not signed in, you'll see a sign in button. Click that and just make sure you sign in with your long at clovisusd.k12.ca.us email. Now, once you do that, go ahead and pop into your Google Drive, is where I usually just start. And we're going to give you kind of just a helpful tip, I guess you could say. When you're creating websites, in order for parents to see what you're posting, they have to be shared correctly. So the way we ensure that things are shared correctly is we create a folder. So in your drive, we're going to create a folder. We're just going to name it website. And everything that goes on your website, we're going to put into that folder so we know that it will always be shared appropriately. So go up to new and go down to folder. And here, what we're going to do also, we're going to start it with a character, and that's going to kind of anchor that folder toward the top for us. So I'm going to start with an exclamation mark. I'm going to say website. Oops, I can spell. I'll just call it website folder for right now. So when I click on create, it's going to take that folder and it's going to stick it up here and make it first. Because the way it looks at folders, it looks at symbols, then numbers, then letters. So if I put that symbol there, it kind of is a different way to tack it to the top. So it's easy to find and I always know that it's there. Once I create that website folder, I'm going to click on share. I'm going to click on advanced. I'm going to change. And I'm going to say for this folder, anyone with a link can view. So now I know that that folder has the correct permissions, that no matter what I put in there, if somebody has the link to it, they'll be able to see it. So now I'm going to start dumping some things in there that I might want to put on my website. So for instance, homework. I have my homework folder. I have a ton of stuff in here I know I'm going to post on my website. I'm going to take that homework folder. I'm going to put it in that website folder. Okay? That says, if you move it, it's going to take the permissions basically of the website folder. That's exactly what you want. So I'm going to move it. So now inside my website folder, I have my homework folder. That's also shared. So how do you know something's shared? Probably what you're thinking to yourself. when you look at folders and they don't have a little head and shoulders on them, they're private, they're yours. If there's a little head and shoulders, they're being shared somehow. There's a share setting attached to that website folder. Okay. So anybody have any questions so far? Anything posted, Delane?
No, just me taking notes.
Awesome.
So far, everyone seems to be doing good.
Okay, so that's the big thing, making that folder, giving it the correct permissions to share. So now we just have to build out your website. So I even build my website inside my website folder. I'm going to open up my website folder, click on New, go to More, and go to Google Sites. I say yes, create and share. All right. So once we're here, we're going to kind of just start at the top and just work our way down through the body of the website. Okay, so it comes up. This is the basic website. They all look the same when you first start. So titling your site, we get lots of questions about this. I always just say, stick with your name or something close to your name. Once you start putting like room 23 and all that other kind of stuff, you may not be in room 23 forever. So I'm just going to call it Mrs. J's. Now the title of your site is different than the title of your page. So to change your page title, you can just click in here. And this first page is basically your splash page for your website. So I'm going to call it Welcome. Now I'm not too fond of those colors, so I can change them. I can either change and add an image. I can also change the header type. I can make it just a banner, title only, a large banner that takes up more space. I kind of prefer banner or title only. So I'm going to click on banner, and then I can also change the image. And Google provides quite a few images in here for you to pick and choose from. Or you can upload one. Or go to Google Drive and search for, or if you have one in Google Drive, and you can search for them too. But I usually just pick something that's here. And it does adjust for readability. So if you have a dark background, it'll make the print lighter. If you have a light print, it'll make the background darker. So you do have that. You can also turn it off. I'll go on and off there. So now that we're talking about the looks of your website, there are some themes that can be applied here. So themes, they're over here in the corner. Here. And they give you some very basic ones, nothing too incredibly fancy. I did change this, but if I end up clicking here, you can see that it starts to, there's nothing on here really to change so far. Let's see.
Hey, Sherry, would you mind going over some of those starting from the beginning instructions again to allow some of our folks to get caught up?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we named our site. And once you name your site here, it also populates it here. This was name your site or title of site here. So if you just double click in that box, in that field, you can change the title. Here is where you change the image to the banner on your site. So I can change the image. I can upload one from my computer if I have a picture that I want to use, an image that I want to use, or I can go to select image and change that. YouTube has a complete, not YouTube, think about yesterday. Google Sites has a complete inventory in here of different banners that you can choose from. Select the one that you want. If you go to themes, then you can scroll down through here. You can see as I choose different themes, it changes the look. Also changes the font. So here, let's say I like this one. I like this vision. I can change the highlight, not the highlight color, but the complementary colors of the site if I want to. I can also come down here and it gives you very basic font styles that you can use to change them. If you want to pick a custom color, you can also click over here and then click around and make yourself a custom color. That color I just created here is now the complementary color on my website. Okay. So how we, Delane, we're okay? Anybody asking any questions?
Sorry, I was looking for a file and it's like, where's
No,
the
no,
mute button?
that's totally fine.
Yeah, we've got some folks that we're still trying to get connected to Drive, and we zoomed forward a little fast,
No,
and so no specific questions so far, but I think maybe even going back even farther to get us back to the beginning, starting really quick from Google Drive. So Sherry made a folder.
Yes.
Starting from my Drive. And why did you make that folder?
So if you make one folder, it's just easy to keep everything contained, so you're not looking for it all over the place. So we always just say, make a folder, change the sharing on that folder to anyone with the link can view. So you do that in advance, and then change anyone with a link can view, and then we save that.
And the reason why we do that is because parents don't have Clovis USD email addresses. And by default, when we share, everything wants to stay within Clovis USD. It's for safety reasons. Since you know this will be going out to parents, that's why Sherry had to go into that extra level to make sure that it was anyone with a link can view.
Because the biggest problem we run into when people create a Google site is they post a bunch of great resources, but then when parents look at the website, they can't see them. So we just have to make sure that everything is there in a folder that has the right permissions. Now that folder, because it's now what we would call the parent folder, everything we put inside that folder takes the permissions from that main folder that we put it in. So because this entire folder has this permission, everything we put inside is now viewable with the link. So I know if it's in there and I put it on my website, everybody's going to be able to see it. So it's just a safety measure where you never have to deal with that problem. Then I also just create my site inside that folder.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm not hearing any more chatter, so I'm hoping that those of us that were still getting signed in are caught up.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, making it pretty, you can always also just do that later on. So you can just start with the very basic one and then go in and tweak and change the themes and the colors, and you can do all that kind of stuff later. So what you're going to want to do is start adding content so parents can access your content. So here on the welcome page, let me introduce you to what they call the wheel of awesomeness. So if I double click, then this little wheel shows up. And this wheel is basically what's here under the insert, the top of the insert menu that pops open on the side, but they put it here just for ease of use. So here I can click add text, I can embed something, I can put in an image, I can upload. Now uploads are basically images. You're not really uploading anything from your computer except for pictures basically. And here, if I want to take something out of my drive, my Google Drive, and put it on my website for access. So while I'm talking about this and talking about sites, I do want to say real quick, the reason we're doing this training today is because what we're noticing is that a lot of people who want to just get packets of information to their students, not just, but they want to give their students packets of information. They're trying to email that out through mass email through Q. And if you put too many PDFs, if the files are too large, it's not going to send, and we're noticing that people are getting frustrated. So one of the workarounds to that would be to build out your website, post all the resources you want your students to access on your website. And all you have to do is tell parents, check back every day. Take a look at our website to see if anything new has been posted. And that does save a lot of that back and forth communication that you're trying to do. The extra stuff, that takes care of it. So then maybe you just make a YouTube video to talk to your kids every day, or you do a Zoom to talk to your kids every day. You're not having to deal with that whole mass email. So this might be just the best place to house all of your content, or a lot of your content, until kids are back in class. And it might save a lot of email headaches later on. So, okay, so now let's go back to the wheel of awesomeness. We're going to post some resources for our parents here. So I want to start by going into the drive. So if I do the wheel of awesomeness, I'm going to double click. I'm going to go to my drive. And remember that homework folder we had in there? Well, I know it's inside my website folder. And there's my homework. So there's different things that you can put onto your website. It's amazing how much you can get on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and put this document. So I click there and I click on insert. It's going to insert the document. It's nice that it gives you a preview, and then you can always grab the handles and adjust the size. That's just inserting a document. You can also just insert the entire folder, because I want to show you what that looks like. I want to show you the difference in what that looks like. Took a little while. So this is just embedding just one file. This is embedding the entire folder. So this document is this one right here, but it looks very different. So if you have, let's say, a folder that you just update on a regular basis and you're just adding new content, I would embed a folder. But if you're just wanting them to access just that one document, I would just embed the document. So if you want to see what it looks like on your parents' end when they go to your website, this is one of my favorite buttons. I check it often. It's called Preview. And then at a glance, I can see what it looks like on a computer. I can see what it looks like on a tablet. And I can also see what it looks like on a phone, the different views. So I do pop back and forth in that preview mode just to see what the parents would be seeing.
So Pam has a really great question. And that's, when you embed the folder, does it update when you add something new to the folder automatically?
Yes,
So
I was just going to say that. she gets a gold star for the day. Yes, that's what makes it super convenient, that if you embed the entire folder, anything you add in there, it's going to automatically update in that folder. But it's going to be in alphabetical order, starting with numbers, right? And then working its way down to the alphabet. Okay. Great question. Okay, so that's folders and documents. You can also embed other fun things. So let's click that wheel of awesomeness, and I'm going to go to the drive again. In that homework folder, I know that there is a slide deck here. You can also change the size there. So what does that look like to your parents? If I click on the preview, I can take a look what it looks like on a computer. There's my folder, and here's the slide deck. And what some teachers do also, they put in a slide deck, and then right next to it or somewhere on that same page, they insert a Google form to ask questions of the students based on what they're looking at in the Google slide deck or a video. So on one page, you can have both of those items too.
And I'm going to self-promote. We're probably going to be talking about Google Forms in the next week.
Yes. So I'm going to be the moderator tomorrow, and then Delane is going to be the teacher tomorrow, and she's going to cover actual Google Classroom. You agreed. You agreed.
I know. I'm teasing.
Yeah, she's going to do Google Classroom tomorrow, and that's another way that what you do in Google Classroom also ties into sites. You can, in Google Classroom, push out an assignment. It puts it on a calendar. You can embed that calendar on your Google site. So parents know from your site what's due, and they know to go to the classroom to get that done for you. So if you're at a grade level that actually uses Google Classroom to push out assignments and collect assignments, you can put content here that they might need in addition to the classroom, or announcements and things like that in a site. It has a calendar that also talks about what's due in the classroom. So all these things integrate together. So it's a good thing to come to that one tomorrow too.
Yes, and so there was a question that popped up about calendars.
Uh-huh.
Should we wait to address the calendar question through Classroom tomorrow, or can you do a quick demo?
I can do a quick demo of putting in a calendar.
Okay.
Now, I would not probably put, like, honestly, this is my welcome page. I probably shouldn't have put all that stuff on my welcome page. It would have been, welcome, here's our website for our classroom, blah, blah, blah. And I would probably have put homework on a different page. So let's talk about inserting pages real quick. So up here, where you see pages. So right now, I only have one page. If I'm going to add another page, I can come down here and click New Page. So this one, I'll call this one homework. Or maybe I'll call it calendar. So now I'm on my calendar page. So if I click the wheel of awesomeness, oh wait, sorry, I can't do a calendar there. I gotta come down here to the bottom. I click on calendar. Now it's gonna say, oh, hey, you have all of these different calendars. Which one do you want to insert? So I'd probably say, probably the one that's classroom, an actual classroom. Do I have one in here? There we go. Let's put that one in there. So it's going to pop my calendar in here. And if I had assignments in that classroom, it would show assignments and things. And what is that going to look like to a parent? Let's take a look in the preview. And they can look at the week. They can look at the month. Okay. And the agenda view is more like a long printed out version of your calendar, but they have the options to toggle through those different views in the calendar itself. So that's pretty handy to have that calendar in there. Let's look at our pages now. What do we have? We have home and calendar. And you notice that across the top here, you see home and calendar. This is going to start populating the pages that you add on your website. So any other questions right now about the calendar, Delane?
None about the calendar. I'm responding to a message about converting an old Google site to a new Google site. So, but
yes.
it looks like we're good with calendars.
Okay. Yeah, there's usually that banner across the top on an old site that says convert. And if you do convert it, you just have to move things around. It's kind of clunky. Some people just prefer just to start a new one. They kind of think that that might be easier, but we'll leave that that decision up to you.
And there are some features that you might have used in old sites that do not transfer over cleanly to new sites. There were, if you were using a lot of embed, the new Google sites is not a big fan of embedding things.
Yeah.
There were also some other features called file cabinet that aren't going to cleanly transfer over. So you're going to want to go through page by page by page to make sure that the look, the feel, and the message is still there.
Absolutely.
Sharon and I have done this. It was painful.
Oh, it was horribly painful. It's terrible. Hold on one second.
Oh, we lost Sherry. So any questions?
I'm here.
Any questions? I'm continuing to answer them in the chat. And so
we're good? We're good to move on? Okay. So another thing I was asked quite a bit yesterday, what happened to my header? I guess Google is getting overloaded, is about YouTube videos and how do I get these YouTube videos to my students after I make them? Well, actually, one of the easiest ways is in your Google site is to put that YouTube video in your site. It just ease of use. It keeps them focused on that one YouTube video. We did find a workaround to turn off the related videos at the end. When you're at school and your students are at school and they're on our network, we have a very filtered version of YouTube. So it just makes it easy for the students to access. And those ads don't show up and things like that. So it's just super easy to put a YouTube video in. So I'm going to show you the basic way, and I'm going to show you this little trick that I used to always use when I embedded videos to get rid of the related videos at the end. So let's go ahead and insert another page. We're going to call this one videos. Now when I click the wheel, you get this little embed icon right here. So the way I want to put the video in, I can embed it by the URL, or I can insert here from YouTube. Okay, and search it here. It just whatever way you like the best, whatever works for you. I usually just double click and go embed. I come up, I find my YouTube video that I want. I copy the long URL in the address bar. We're not using the shortcut one. The period is in between YouTube and com, not in between the U and the B. So I'm using the long one, not the shortcut. I come back to my site, I paste that in there, and I insert the video. That's just basic. Grab the link, insert your video. I could do the same here. Go to YouTube. I can paste that link here, search for it, and there's that same video. So basically, these are pretty much embedded the same way. But I'm going to show you just a quick, it's really kind of a hack to show you how to get rid of the videos at the end, the recommended videos. If I double click here and I go to embed, and I go to embed code, I come here to the video, I come down to share, I click on embed, and right here, after the link, the YouTube video link, and right before those quotation marks, I click there and I type $REL equals 0. That's just basically turning off the related videos and setting them to 0. Then I copy this, go back to my site, I paste it in the embed code. Click next. Takes a little bit longer, but once it embeds it, I'll show you what it looks like at the end of each video.
Ooh, the suspense.
Oh, I know, right? See how it does. It takes a little bit longer to upload, but on this one, when I get to the end of this video, get really close to the end. You see how it has all of these suggested videos at the end? On this one, when I get to the end, you can't get rid of the ads. It has basically more of his videos, but that's something that that person, the YouTuber, put in instead of all of these different ones. There is a difference, and it's hard to tell. These are videos that are in the same channel. These are all related videos. And so there's that minor difference. But on a student device, and when they're logged into their account at school, they don't get the ads like teachers do. At home, the students will probably get the ads, but at school, with our filtering system in place, they don't get the ads. And then it turns off all of these other related ads. So that's a little bit of a hack. You may use it, you may not, but it's helpful for those little kiddos too, who just start to click through and then they go down the YouTube rabbit hole. And after 30 minutes, you're wondering what they're doing, and they're watching YouTube videos and not doing their work. So that kind of helps out a little bit. You can also change the size of the videos by grabbing those handles and making them bigger or smaller. So it is helpful if you make them nice and large, and it kind of helps the student not want to click on watching YouTube to make it bigger. So the bigger you can make the video, probably the better. So any other questions about videos and calendar?
No, nothing specific that needs to be addressed so far. Looks like people are really dialed in. I don't even know that anybody's blinking.
Good. Okay. Let's see it. So we've gone over videos, calendar. You can put in documents and folders. And we showed you the way that those look very different. We talked about adding pages. But let me show you the difference between a top level page and then a sub level page. So right now, they're all lined up evenly. Okay, so I have home, videos, and calendar. But if I wanted the calendar under home, or maybe under videos, I would drop it in there. I can't do it on home. On videos, now if I click the down arrow, then calendar shows up. So these are top level pages. These are now sub pages. If I want to make it back to a top level page, I just pull it back out and make them kind of line up. How I look at it. If they're lined up, they're equal. If they're not lined up, they start becoming sub pages. If I create a new page and I called it homework, and I wanted the videos to be under the homework page. So here's the home, here's the calendar. Student calendar's there, homework, and then there's videos, and you might put, documents or that kind of thing, so you can list them out however you want. So it's just kind of an organizational choice and how you want to put your site together. So to get it back to the top level page, I move it in between where it becomes that thin line, and it puts it back as a top level page. Sometimes people's pages disappear and they don't go, and they go, where did my page go?
Dragging, right?
Yeah.
My mouse just picks something up and click, hold, and drag, and wait, where did that page go? Why is it not on my navigation?
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it 1,000 times.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yep, I've done it. Images. Now, images seem to give people a hard time, and I completely understand why. Here, I'm going to delete all this stuff out here real quick. I'm actually going to put it on the homework page where it belongs. I'm going to go to insert from my drive, or here and insert from my drive. Yeah, put that in there, put that in there, just with a quick click. Right. I'm going to insert my folder. I just inserted those 3 things in just a matter of seconds. So it does it just super fast and just really user friendly. Okay, so I'm going to go back to home. So in your welcome, what happened to my title here?
Yeah, it looks like accessibility might be a little stuck.
Yeah, I think.
So I don't want to scare other people away. It happens to us. Things get really busy. There's a whole lot of teachers editing Google Sites, and so it's still processing pictures. Don't give up on it. Maybe go take a coffee break and come back.
Yeah, come back. It'll stick. Just do it again. It'll stick. It'll stick the second time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, and here's here's another little tidbit of information. Sometimes if you put if you change the image and then you change the theme, sometimes they start to battle it out and one wins. So I think maybe when I put that in there and I went to themes, I think the theme won.
Themes always win.
Yeah, I think it was just, it was fighting it out. So on the welcome page, if you want to insert an image, there's different ways to do that. So you can upload an image that's downloaded on your website, or you can go to images here and do a Google image search. If you have one in your Google Drive, you can choose it there. If you have your photos connected or photos uploaded, you can go there. I don't even know what I have in there. I've got a few little things in there. You have images in your Google Drive.
So the only thing that we probably want to caution you about is if you're using your own photos, make sure you don't have front-facing photos of.
There you go. That was my next thing. Good job. Yeah. So make sure you don't have
ESP again.
The kids. Yeah. So paste URL of image. You can do that. You can just do an image search. So let's say I want
coronavirus meme.
Oh yeah. No kidding. Yeah, coronavirus meme. So let's see. I don't see any kids' faces in here, probably, that aren't. And what's nice is that when you search through here, these are all basically images that you are allowed to use. Put the image in there. Now, this is what irritates me to no end. When you're resizing, it tries to auto crop sometimes. Of course, watch me pick the one picture that it doesn't do that to. But if I don't want it to auto crop, I go uncrop it. Right? So it's not changing the image for me. It'll make it bigger, but it's not changing, it's not cropping out part of my image. sometimes you'll put a picture in there and it wants to chop it down to where it almost can't even tell what it is. So you have this little uncrop link, which is really nice. Or if you want to crop it, you can do that, and you can zoom in and zoom out of your image. So this is what gets people when I want to put in text next to an image. So here's my image. So depending on where it is, I can link it to a picture and then it moves around together. Sometimes unlinking it isn't the easiest thing to do either. Or I can put it at the top. And you see those little guides, those little lines that show up, those little they're snap to guides. So you can move your things around. And sometimes they just stick together like magnets, like magic. So then you gotta go back in here and take it apart. So that just comes with practice. Because when this first started happening to me, everything was sticking together and nothing was, nothing would come apart. So, you're just practicing with the image boxes next to text.
So the trick is, and Sherry knows this because of all the practice, if you can find the chocolate bar on the text box, that'll help you separate them out. So when she hovers over it, there are 5 little dots. It looks like a Hershey's chocolate bar to me. Everything's food. Y'all should know this. But that's how she was able to pull them apart without really making a lot of like struggling with that, because she knows to look for those chocolate bars to move things around.
Yeah, because when I just try to pull it off and I'm not there, it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays stuck to the picture. So yeah, if you go up to that little grippy bar, sometimes it doesn't always work. There you go. Double click it. So it just, after you do it enough, your brain just does it automatically. You're like, oh, okay, it's ready to separate. So it just takes a little bit of practice. But that seems to be like the toughest thing. Also, they have been so kind to you. They have these little layouts that you can just put in that are automatic. So if I drop that layout in here, now I just click and I can add my image or my documents. And down here, I can add text to go with that. So if I clicked here and I say from Drive, I want to add, remember that PDF document. So the animal cell. Turn it on Monday. So quickly, without having to add text and add images and things like that, it's just there. And I can just quickly add whatever I need to add. So if I click here from Drive, say I want to add that homework folder there. It's going to pop it into that section. So So just with the drag of one of those layouts, it makes it super easy just to put your content in there. They also added this little image carousel. So if you have pictures that you want students to watch, that goes, I think it changes, I don't know, I think it automatically changes every few seconds. You can do that. You can add buttons, dividers, you can add YouTube, a map. So basically whatever's in your drive, you can insert on your website. And so it just takes hopping in there and tinkering around a bit to figure out what you want on your site. Now, let's just pretend your site is built and your hard work is done. So how do parents see your fine website? So when we're clicking here, we're just looking at, we're just seeing what it's going to look like to parents. If I click here, share with others, there are some options here. This is where I can add somebody else to edit the website with me. So if you do a grade level website and one person's in charge of uploading homework, one does the spelling lists, and one types the announcements, you can share that way. So I can add an editor. I can add Delaney here. And send her a notification that I want her to be able to have editing access to my website. Now for parents to actually see the site, so you have to click on publish. So we get used to Google where it automatically saves for us and we don't have to worry about people being able to see it when I make changes. When it comes to sites, that is absolutely not the case. You can add and delete and do a lot of things in the background, and until you're ready for parents to see it, it stays hidden from them. Then you click on publish, it makes it live so they can see it. So here, when you publish your site, it grabs basically the title that you gave it, and it takes out any of the extra characters that it doesn't like. Here, who can view my site? You can change that to anyone the link can view. Published, anyone can find and view. You can change this to public on the web, so it's searchable. In the past, I've always felt just more comfortable if I give the parents a link. I feel better about that. I really don't want people out there searching. And then you can also just click to request that public search engines don't look at your site or display it. It just keeps it private. So once you click publish, it pops up this like dual window. It's kind of slow today.
Right, this is a new feature that popped up, I'd say, in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're trying to
Okay. Check for your changes. Yeah.
Okay, so now I published it and all the changes are there. So now if I go in here and I change something, so let's delete out this picture and let's just delete this whole section here. Now when I go to publish, it's going to say, oh, look, you had one that's already out there that parents can see, and you've made some changes. It's going to show you what they look like side by side. But I think the world right now is building websites. There we go. So you can see the difference. This is the one that's published. This is the one over here where you've made changes. If you want to keep them, you can go ahead and click on publish. And then your changes are out there where they can see them. So how do you find the link to your site? That's probably the next big question. So if you come up to publish and you click that little down arrow, great things hide in those little down arrows. We're going to view the published site. And so this right here would be the link to your new Google site. So you copy that and you would send it to probably your school's webmaster to post on their website. That's the link that you're going to send to parents and to let them know to check back daily for updates or however you want them to check for the content that you publish. Okay. Then over here you can see all the pages that we have added today, videos, and the homework page.
Ooh, so many good questions coming through.
Awesome. All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm actually stumped, so I'm excited for this one. I love learning new stuff. So how do we add a downloadable PDF? I have attached PDFs for days, but other than forcing the parents to open the page and then click the download button, is there a method to allow us to get an instant downloadable PDF? I know. See, I feel like the RCA dog. Huh.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So
yeah,
I can show
like
you
instant download.
Sherry's folder that's been embedded on the welcome page. You can see the PDFs that are there. From the parental view,
Yeah.
when a parent clicks on that PDF, it should pop it open into another window.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like when they access it. So when they have access, see this little button right here? You can pop it out. And then they have the download option.
Right. Unfortunately, that didn't show up on our screen.
Oh, that's bizarre. Here, let me. There we go. Because if I opened an incognito window and it didn't recognize that. Okay, so let's see. So this is what it looks like for the parents. So when they look at the document, there's the pop-out arrow. When they click that pop-out arrow, that's where they get the download or the print icon.
Right, so it might not be an instant download, but if parents say, hey, how can I print this out? Encourage them to open the file
Yeah.
and then use that print or download button.
So here they can pop open the entire folder. And then they can look and download.
And there's a download all button at the very top.
And a download all button. That was covered by your little faces, download all. So yeah, there's lots of different ways for them to get to the content, to download it.
Okay. The next question is involving how do I link to other websites? And I know that we've got 2 different options. So I know Sherry's excited to show you both.
I know, it's always so much fun. Okay, so putting in links. So you can link to images, you can link to words. Am I forgetting anything else?
Just let's say that you have a list of awesome resources that are safe for kids to use from home, like Starfall and ABC Yeah and National Geographic Kids. And so how do I show parents where to go, or how can I get those links to those parents?
And it's usually best if you put some text down first. So let's say I want them to go to, pick a site. Would you say ABC Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So you just print out, write out what you want. You can highlight it. And then here's the insert link. Okay. We're going to paste that link here. So let's find that site. So I'm going to grab that URL, which is basically the same thing I typed. Sometimes they're not. And then I'm going to pop back here. Okay, and we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to highlight those words. I'm going to click on link. And I'm going to paste that there. So that's one way. I can link to words. Okay. If the site is embeddable, I can.
That's a big if, right?
Yeah, if. Sometimes they're not. Like sometimes you try to embed something and it's just not working for you. I can go here to embed. I can paste in that URL for ABC Yeah, and this one can't be embedded. So it's just going to give me a link. I wonder. Let's see. What would be?
I'm trying to think if Starfall can be embedded.
Can we embed Clever? Let's try that one.
That was my next one. It's like, oh, I wonder if we can embed the link to Clever.
Let's try embedding Clever here. Oh, I got the district admin portal. That's not what I want. So you can embed Clever with a little picture. And so it's going to look just like that. What you see in the little preview is going to populate and look like that when it pops in here, if ever.
Yeah. So what's great about the embed feature is that parents can actually navigate the website from your Google site because it is a live page that's tucked into your page.
Yeah, so I'll show you what, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's so after she publishes in that parent preview, you can see what it's like, the difference between a link, which is click on the text, hop open to a new tab, or please stay in my Google site, but continue to look at this website or play the games on this website. That's really cool to embed.
So this is us linking just the words, and it opens up the website. Someday. There you go. The world is slow. Or I can click here, log in with Active Directory like a student, and it'll push me through, but I don't have the login with Active Directory, so. Oh, it redirected me too many times. So maybe Clever is not the best one to put in here, so, but there's other sites that do work. Probably nothing on Clever. Does anybody have a site that they want me to try? What would be a good site to try?
I think we tried Hamilton the last time we did this, and that was pretty successful. Oh, no, it was the Eliza Foundation. I forget what that's called, but yeah.
Try this one. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I could try it.
Let's try it. I'm just willing to embed anything at this point. That'll work.
Well, somebody says common sense might work.
Yeah, comments. Oh, there you go.
Oh, good. ElizaHope.org seems to be happy.
Yeah, it seems to like us. Yeah, certain sites like us and certain sites do not.
And a really good reminder from our chat is, yes, every time that you make a change, you will want to click publish if you'd like parents to see it.
Yeah. So now we have that website embedded within our website. So there is that option too. You have to play with each individual site to see if it does or does not work. Like I said, it doesn't always work. Because we have, I think, just a few more minutes, I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to embed that Remind widget. And then maybe we can do some research for Class Dojo to see if we can do the same thing. So I'm not sure how many of you use Remind with your families. In case you don't know what it is, Remind is a text-based communication system between you and parents. When I used it, it was a one-way communication tool. I texted out and just let everybody know what was going on, and I didn't get texts in return. I'm not sure if it's still that way or not, but it was very convenient. With one text, I alerted everybody about what was going on, and they did not have my number and that kind of thing. So it was super easy to use too. So a lot of people have used it in the past. So I'm going to show you how to embed it because it's not very straightforward. So the instructions I had placed at the beginning, that link to you, I just want to remind you that it's here. This Embed Remind widget into Google Site, it's right here. It's going to give you basically these same instructions. You're going to go to Remind, you're going to choose your class, you're going to click on your little icon. You go to Widgets, and lots of little steps. You have to show the advanced settings, and this is the strange part. You do not use the Google Site one, use the one for Wix. Don't ask me why, but the Google Site one does not work on the new Google Sites. And then you copy this widget code. So now that we know how to embed things, let me click this out real quick. I double click, I go to embed, and what I copied from here was an embed code. I click embed code, and I paste it here, and I click next, and it generates my preview of my Remind stream, my Remind stream of announcements into your site. Then you have all the reminds that you sent out to your family. You can move it around a little bit. So when we publish that, what does that look like to, to your families? So if you use Remind, it's one text, parents get it, and it automatically updates on your website with one text. And like the other person pointed out earlier, if you embed a folder, you drop something in that folder, it automatically updates on your website. So there's kind of a lot of automaticity in this that just makes it so easy to use. So what does that look like for parents on your published site? So you have a homework folder, and now here's a list of the announcements that you've sent out during, from your Remind account someday. Yeah. So any questions about that? You can also embed Twitter, but your kids can't see it at school. I'm not sure what else you can embed in here. There's just lots of options. Usually if there's an embed code hanging around somewhere on a website, you can grab that and then you can use it in your Google site. Any other questions?
Just a general question about unpublishing. So let's say that I've done all this work and I just need to temporarily take it down because I've got a lot of changes I want to make and I don't want to keep hitting publish.
Yeah. So when you get to the point to where you're done with this website and you don't want to be published anymore, you can just click here under the little down arrow and select unpublish, or you can just delete it out of your Google Drive. Either way, we'll get rid of it.
Right. So if you were making a test site right now and you clicked publish because you were following along and you're like, wait, I don't want this out in the world.
Yeah, unpublish pulls it back, or you can just delete it altogether. It's always good to have one to play with, so I would just unpublish so you can just play with it and just use the preview button to see what that would look like, while you're playing with your site, and you're good to go. I did have a question actually earlier today about I know we're doing lots of listening activities. It's a really big thing now, posting a listening activity and then asking questions about it. So I just want to show you how to get the link to some some audio put into your site in case you want to do that. So if you can't, sorry, I'm kind of talking in circles here. If you go to your drive, and if you have some audio that you want to upload, usually it's an MP3 is the audio that you're uploading. And in your drive, so let me look under recent too real quick. In your drive, it has a little set of headphones that's audio. So you upload the audio into your drive. Then you click on share, and then anyone with the link can view, even though you're listening. You copy that link because you cannot take it from your Google Drive and put it on a website. It doesn't work for some reason, but if you go into your drive and you share it with that link, when I click in here and I go to, sorry, I can't do it there. If I want to embed it, I click here, and then by URL, that link I copied, anybody with the link can view on that listening selection. I can paste it in here. Oh, did I not copy it? And it gives me my audio with a little listen bar. And so you could embed your audio and then have a Google form for them to answer questions, but it just gives them that little listen track with a little bit of an audio bar and things like that, so they can mute it or change the level of sound. So I think that pretty much shows you everything that you can embed and do with a site. I hope that makes you very excited. There's lots of great things that you can do in a Google site. Dillian, did you want to add anything? Did I forget anything?
No, very, very thorough. It was just connecting it to any of our people here with us today that were watching YouTube. In order to do a YouTube channel, you have to send Sherry the link to whitelist it. Google Sites is not the same. So once you are ready to go, you can hit publish and you can send out your link to anyone at any time. Yeah. And so I didn't want anyone to feel like they needed to hold back or send Sherry a direct link. Those are public and ready to go. As far as any other questions, just a reminder to keep hitting publish when you're ready for those updates to get pushed out. And I think you answered many of the questions just as you were talking. Yeah.
Delane, I might have missed this, but if you drop a folder with PDFs, does it automatically make them clickable to be downloaded?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So any other questions? You guys asked great questions. I didn't see all those.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for the good of the group? You can unmute yourself and just pop in right now if you like. All right. So like I said, you can always reach out to, if you're at a school site, you can reach out to your area technology coach, or you can just reach out to me. But we've all been dabbling in Google Sites for a very long time. So, and if they don't know, they ask me. And if I don't know, I ask them. So together we are one giant brain, and we should be able to solve your problems. But yeah, so thanks for joining us today. You've been an awesome group.
And see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we are doing Google Classroom tomorrow. So now that you kind of have a preview of how it embeds into your Google site, hopefully you're excited to come back for Google Classroom tomorrow, and we'll walk through that one with you. So I guess goodbye for now, and hopefully we see you tomorrow. It's 2:30 tomorrow, so we're just trying to keep with the 2:30 theme. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That gives you Thursday, Friday, over the weekend if you want to play around a little bit, and maybe your kids will get a whole new way to learn on Monday. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.